Hey guys, it's GameFace here and welcome back to a new mini-series I'm going to be starting, and basically this one is going to be evolving Manchester City. Now, the aim behind the series is to basically play as a team for 2 seasons as a two-parter. The first part will be the first season, obviously the second part will be the second season, and the aim is to essentially evolve the team and try and make them unplayable, basically simming all the matches other than some of the key finals, which we might play some of them in today's video, and basically we're going to be revamping them, evolving them, trying to change the team into an unplayable side, creating sort of new tactics and formations along the way, and then afterwards we'll move on to a different team and we'll kind of do it like that. And ultimately trying to win everything basically, whilst leaving my stamp on each of the teams as we go through. So it's going to kind of be, like I say, a mini-series. Leave your suggestions for teams that you'd like to see me evolve and try and revamp a little bit. Man City's going to be the first side. I think Arsenal will be quite a good team as well. And maybe Manchester United, some other clubs as well. And yeah, if you do like the idea and you want to support the channel in the video, please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. I would really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. It'd be absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we're going to have 2 seasons with Man City. I think it's actually going to be a fairly tough task. I've got separate Manchester City career mode, and it's actually much tougher than I expected. So we're going to wait and see how things go, particularly simming games as well. You do end up really struggling to get into the European places usually, so I'm not expecting a particularly easy ride. We need to bring us some new signings. That's kind of the main focus of the series, to transfer a lot of players. They're not always going to be realistic, although I am, for the Man City ones in particular, going to try and keep them fairly realistic, but we'll wait and see what happens along the way. We'll go with legendary 5-minute half length for the 1 or 2 games we might be playing in today's video. We'll download the latest squads, and we will certainly have the European competition in our first season to deal with, and I'll quickly change around the group so it's realistic to the real life group. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is the group Man City had in real life. I'm pretty sure it was Barcelona, Celtic and Borussia Mönchengladbach, and so yeah, we will go ahead and submit that, and let's crack on with the career mode and see what our first signings are going to be, but also what players we're going to be selling as well. Okay, so here we go. There's no pre-season tournaments for us to worry about or anything like that. I decided to opt out of that. We're not going to focus too much necessarily on objectives or anything like that. Although I suppose maybe the trophy objectives we might focus on a little bit, but other than that, not really going to focus on them too much. Like I say, the main focus is trying to win stuff, bringing in the transfers, and we won't necessarily be playing too many games, like I said before. The actual transfers I make, like I said, not necessarily always realistic. Might sometimes get rid of some players that maybe you like, or maybe a little bit unexpected, let's say. So we'll wait and see what happens along the way. I don't want to get rid of too many of the players. We're only here for 2 seasons, but we have to find a way of turning round things, basically. In real life, obviously, they've been a little bit inconsistent this season, so we obviously need to make some signings, and in particular the fullback position. So we're going to take a look at some players for there now, and I'll also list quite a few players to get rid of as well. Okay, so our first 2 bids have gone in for the 2 fullbacks I'm going to be after, a new right back and left back. Man City have been heavily linked to both of these players recently, apparently wanting them in the summer in real life, and I also think both of them would be quite nice as well to try and get in. So 2 £12 million bids put in for those players. It's an initial bid, it won't necessarily be accepted, but we'll wait and see what they say. Okay, the next bid I'm going to put in is for Bonucci. Now, this is another player Man City were heavily linked with in the summer, and this time the bid's going to be 20 million and Otamendi. The aim is to try and replace some of the players that I'm not a huge fan of, don't think will really bring that much quality to the team, and obviously bring in some better players. He'll obviously play alongside Company for the most part of the season. And we've also changed the tactic as well. This is part of the series, trying to change the tactics, bringing in almost like a new philosophy, if you want to call it that sort of thing. So changing the tactics of the team as well. So we've got a custom tactic here. These are different, various different things that I've given them. Basically, the build-up play is supposed to be quite fast. Chance creation is supposed to be quite risky. Plenty of shots, and the pressure is going to be quite high from the defenders as well. So we've gone with that, and we'll wait and see how that gets on during this season. What we will do is also get to January, try and bring in some players, whether it be on a pre-contract agreement or sign them outright, or both. But yeah, we will sim those games before then and see how we get on in the first half of the season, whether we need to sign any more players. But to begin with, let's wait and find out how we've done on those other transfer bids we put in. But before we do get onto that, I've just got a few players which I've transfer listed. Not many, to be honest. Some of you will probably transfer list more, and I will be transfer listing more in January and next season. But for the first season, I want to keep most of the players as the Man City squad that we've currently got in real life. So there's only a few players I've listed: Navas, Fernandes, Fernando, Butiki, is it Butiki, something like that, Sanya also as well. So only 4 players being listed there, of which we'll probably be replacing most of those sort of players. But other players that will leave eventually are players like potentially Kolarov, those sort of players, Bravo, but that'll all be next season. So that'll be in today's video as well, by the way. But for now, we won't be making loads and loads of changes. Aguero will probably leave at some stage as well, but that'll be next season, like I say. Now let's find out how he got on with those bids. Juventus coming back and saying not interested in the player. The bid was unacceptable, the transfer offer that we put in. So we do need to try and up things a little bit. Maybe go 25 million. Even though they're not interested in Otamendi, maybe we can persuade them a bit of money. And Spurs rejected the bid outright, just said he's too valuable to them, and they've just rejected the £12 million bid. I think we'll have to up that one a little bit by the looks of it. 17 million. I might have to pay quite a bit of money. Luckily, we have a bit of money to spend, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue for us. But yeah, a little bit frustrating if we can't get him in for under 20. And they want 28 million for Danny Rose. Wow, that is a lot of money. Was not expecting that. 20 million is what we'll go with. Not putting in any players for now, because I don't really want to be giving them to sort of rival teams or anything like that. So we will just go ahead with a £20 million bid. More than I was hoping to pay, but we'll wait and see what Tottenham say to that. A bid in for Otamendi, actually. Not a player that's transfer listed, but a player that we're looking to get rid of in a separate deal. We'll stall that one for now, and we'll see whether, even though obviously it's Arsenal, we don't really want to give them our players. We've got this Juventus deal, which he's a part of, and they've rejected it again. So what we might do is just take him out of that deal and just put a bid in of 38 million and then get rid of Otamendi separately. Okay, so we'll ask for 28 million, just 2 more than what they've put in the bid for. They'll probably match it, to be honest. We might well have asked them for a little bit more than that. Okay, a few objectives that I do want to look at for this season is winning the league title and also winning the FA Cup as well. That's going to be very difficult in our first season to do both of them. They also want me to reach the final of the Champions Cup. Now, I was looking to try and win the Champions League by next season. That's the aim I'm going with. Obviously, if we can do it earlier, then brilliant. But yeah, I'm not really too sure about reaching the final in the first year. We're still trying to develop the team. We'll be trying to evolve it over this season and going into next season as well. But we'll wait and see what happens. Spurs want 32.5 million for Kyle Walker. Wow, that is a lot of money. We're going to try and chuck in Sanya as part of it. He's worth 7 million. Then we'll up it to 20, and maybe we're getting a little bit closer now to a fee that they'll agree. Spurs finally accept the bid for Danny Rose, 20 million. He could be coming in. He wants 110 grand a week. We will just go ahead and match that. Bid in for Aguero, but I'm certainly not looking to get rid of him right now. He'll probably be going next season, I would have thought, especially not to a rival either. We want to send him abroad somewhere. And Arsenal have matched the £28 million bid that we asked for Otamendi. So he seems to be on the way out. Hopefully we can get a replacement for him here, though. Bid in for Fernando. We'll ask for 8 million from Tottenham. And Blackburn have come back and matched the value of Butiki, who we will try and get rid of. He's 21 years old, not particularly great overall. Transfer offer in for Navas, 11 million from Everton. That is how much he's worth. We'll ask for 12, so it's a Premier League club, so they should be able to up it a little bit more. And hopefully we get that one matched next time round. We've got Juventus coming back on 55.5 for Bonucci. We're not looking to pay that much. We'll go 42 million. And we don't ideally want to go too higher than that. Obviously, he's 29 years old. This is only for 2 seasons, so you know it's not really, and age isn't really the issue here, to be honest. But we do want to try and bring in some other younger and faster players if we can. But like I say, it's only 2 seasons, so it's not a huge issue. They are interested in the player, I think, is what they said, but they want 28 million as well. So we'll go 24 million. They should accept that one surely by now. Otamendi's being sold for 28 million. We get 25.5 million of that. Danny Rose accepts the contract offer as well. He's signing for 20 million, so quite a large bid in the end, but that's how much Tottenham wanted, so he matched it. And Spurs have come back and said they'll pay 7 million for Fernando. I think we'll just accept that. We wanted 8 ideally, but we need him out the door. And I think we'll just have Delph in the squad that will kind of fill his sort of role. Although it's tempting to look for another centre mid, we might do at some point, but I think another winger might be more helpful since Navas is probably on the way out here. He seems to be going here for 12 million if he can agree a contract with Everton. And finally, Juventus accepts the 42 million pound bid for Bonucci. We'll match the 190 grand a week, and we'll say a 2-year deal, crucial first team player. And hopefully that's okay. Spurs finally accept the bid for Kyle Walker. That one, I think, is 22 million, wasn't it? Or 24 million. 24, and Bakary Sagna will match his demands basically for his wages. Hopefully that one can therefore go through in the next few days. Okay, player sold. Batiki's gone to Blackburn. We've got Kyle Walker and Bonucci both accepting the new contracts, so we can make those signings right now. 42 million for Bonucci. It's obviously a very, very big bid. I'm pretty sure Man City put in like a 50 million pound bid though in real life, so got him for a little bit less less than what they tried to get him for. 24 million and Bakary Sagna for Kyle Walker. Two really good additions to the team. I think defensively as well we needed to strengthen in particular in this first season. So very happy with those two signings. And already our defence looks much, much stronger. We've got hopefully Danny Rose to come in as our new left back to replace Gal Clichy. And that is pretty much the team sorted and ready to go. Maybe just with one or two other signings for the rest of the squad. Other than that, though, I think we are nearly there for the first transfer window's worth of transfers. Two players sold. We've got Navas going to Everton. 10.5 million we get from him. And we've got Fernando going to Spurs as well. So need to look for a replacement for Navas now. Not so concerned by the Fernando one. Although maybe we need to get him one more centre mid as more of a rotational player. We'll wait and see, but we'll take a look at a few now. Although I do have a winger in mind, this is the player we're going to go with for a centre mid to begin with. He can obviously play many different positions. Pep Guardiola's worked with him in real life, and we're going to try and bring him in to try and evolve the team a little bit, give us a few options. He's obviously a great option for the future as well. Not too sure how much he's worth. We'll go with a £12 million bid, a fairly reserved bid to begin with. Another Bayern Munich player for our winger position. Douglas Costa's going to be the player we're going to take a look at. Really, really good stats. Another player I think will really enhance this team, give us more pace, power, and obviously better finishing and that sort of thing going forward. So I think to begin with, we'll go with maybe a £38 million bid. That should be near enough the right amount for Bayern Munich to accept the bid, I think. Maybe not. 53 million is what they want. 42 we'll go with. That should be near enough of the right amount for them. The bid was too low for Kimmich. They want more money for him. 12 million is not enough. I actually thought it'd be near to what they were wanting for him. We will go, I think, with a £17 million bid. It's difficult to know exactly how much he's worth when we don't have any sort of overall for him, and his squad roll is pretty low. Bayern Munich accepts the £42 million bid. We're going to put in a contract offer now. Hopefully that one can be agreed in the next few days. Bayern Munich also accepts the £17 million bid for Kimmich. He wants 80 grand a week. We'll give him that and a 5-year deal, along with a squad rotational role. Hopefully that one is okay for him. Okay, so a new signing here for us, Douglas Costa, 42 million. Hopefully we'll add, like I said before, a bit of pace and a bit of power and finishing ability into the squad. Looking forward to using him whenever we get into a final, if we do get into a final at some stage, for us to play with him. But obviously Navas went, so he was kind of the replacement for him. Kimmich comes in now as an alternative player. Fernando obviously went out, so we're bringing in a little bit of youth, a little bit more quality in there potentially, and he can obviously play many different positions, quite a utility player, which I quite like in a lot of our players. Don't actually know what overall he is, so it's a little bit risky, although I'm sure he will grow. 80 overall is actually much better than I thought. Douglas Costa also comes into the side, and I think that's actually all the transfers we need to make now. He might be a replacement for Sané, although that's not obviously something I want to do. Sané's a very good player, but Costa will certainly be in and around the team at some stage. Okay, so I think that's pretty much the team complete now. It might sim along to the January transfer window. Obviously, next season there will be players I want to try and bring in. There'll be players I want to try and get rid of, like I want to change the keeper situation a little bit. But I thought for the first transfer window, I don't want to be making loads and loads of changes. I don't want it to be a whole new squad. So you can see in particular I'm focused on the defence. On the bench we don't really have any of the new signings just yet, but I could quite easily put Costa on there instead of Iheanacho, and Kimmich would be in and around the team. But obviously in the future, Yaya Toure will probably leave next season, Aguero will probably leave, and we'll start to evolve even more. But it's meant to be fairly realistic, but obviously not going with transfers that you necessarily would expect in real life, let's say. But we are going to hopefully now get into the January transfer window. We'll sim along, see how we get on in the first half of the season, and see whether we need to make any big changes going into the end of the season. Okay, so we're in the January transfer window now. As you can see from the last month, it was a pretty hectic calendar, a lot of very, very tough games. Not too sure we got on most of them. Not great by the looks of it. Lost to Barcelona. Yeah, we're going to be relegated. This is terrible. What the hell's happened here? At least we beat Liverpool, but where are we in the league? We're going to be mid-table, if not lower, at this rate. We really are, unless we've had a 7th. That is not good. Exactly halfway through the season, in 7th place, 5 points behind 6th place, and well and truly out of the title race, I think, by the looks of it. So, yeah, that's frustrating. Maybe we're going to have to settle for trying to get top 4 or something. That is going to be very, very tough. We're going to have to maybe make a couple more signings. I wasn't really expecting to do that. But yeah, that is very concerning. Squad depth concerns. We could do the extra something at the back and hope you can strengthen the defensive area. Thought I'd already done that, to be honest, but there might be some players that maybe have left, or I'm not really too sure what's happened here. But anyway, Costa wants to leave. Zabaleta wants to leave as well. Don't know why Costa's not being used. Okay, so because the board are complaining about our lack of defensive options, Lucas Hernandez, another player that Pep Guardiola has been linked with in signing for Man City. We're going to try and sign him. Again, not really too sure how much to expect to pay for him, so a £10 million bid to begin with. Okay, so I thought we'd take a look at whereabouts we are in the Champions Cup. Obviously, the aim set by the board is to get into the final. And we're currently in the round of 16. We finished second behind Barcelona in the group as well, which was okay. Now we've got a game against Juventus to play, so that's going to be a very, very tough match. Potentially Tottenham if we were to beat them, although more likely Real Madrid, but we've got to try and get past Juventus to begin with. But yeah, not too bad. We need to also take a look at some of the other cup competitions as well. The aim was to win the FA Cup, I think, set by the board, so we need to find out exactly whereabouts we are in that competition. Why the hell's Angus Gunn being played in the Premier League? Twice he's been played. I was looking at some of the players that have been playing. Some of these youngsters have played 4 times in the Premier League, and I wonder if they're not winning any games. Why is all these rubbish players being played? Okay, so the bid for Lucas Hernandez has been accepted. He wants 40 grand a week, we'll give him 40 grand a week, and we'll go with a 5-year deal, and I think squad rotational player is probably a fair squad role to give him. And Lucas Hernandez signs for us £10 million, that means we've got another centre-back in the squad that can hopefully play rather than having those 2 rubbishy youngsters. We do now have Lucas Hernandez. Not too sure what overall he is though, so we'll wait and see how good he is. 77, that's actually pretty decent, very happy with that. He can also play left back as well, so really the ideal sort of player for Man City. Okay, now on to a transfer which I wasn't planning on making, not at this stage anyway. We're going to try and bring in ter Stegen, and at the same time get rid of Bravo, who's going down in overall. It's not going well for him. He's going to go, hopefully, back on the plane back to Barcelona, and £20 million are going to be going along with him. Hopefully we can sign ter Stegen, it'll be quite nice, a little bit of a younger goalkeeper, one that's actually got a chance of going up in overall as opposed to down, like Bravo is. 84 rated, and should really improve us defensively as well. Barcelona have accepted the bid, 20 million plus Bravo, very, very happy with that one. Let's see whether he'll accept the new contract of 120 grand a week. We will go with a 4-year deal, crucial first team player. Hopefully he's willing to relocate. And here we go, we're going to sign ter Stegen. Very happy with this signing. Like I said before, a little bit earlier than I was planning to make it. It was supposed to be next season I was going to replace the goalkeeper, but I felt that we were looking a little bit weak in that position. We've been conceding a lot of goals over the first half of the season, so we need to improve that, and hopefully that can be done by bringing in ter Stegen. I mean, you can't really get that much better than this team, to be honest. I've already evolved it quite nicely. There's still more to be done though. There's still some players that I think we could move on a little bit later on in this episode, and we'll wait and see what happens in the second season. But for now, that's a really good start, I think, to the evolution of this Manchester City team. I think Yaya Toure will be a player that I'll leave at some stage as well. Like I said before, Aguero too, but that will be next season, I think. Okay, so now we're out of the January transfer window. We're going to focus on the Champions Cup and trying to get through the next few rounds, sim those matches rather than just through the calendar. We'll be simming them properly and seeing how we get on. We've got something else to take a look at, but none of which I'm particularly interested in. Just to let you know, our form has massively improved in the league. I've seen that we've got like 3 1-0 wins in our last 3 games, but you know, a win's a win, so we'll take it. We'll change around the team slightly and then crack on with the Juventus game. Okay, so here we go. Against Juventus, they're going to go with the 3-1-4-2 formation, so 3 at the back for them. This is the team I've gone with on the left-hand side. We will sim after a few seconds. Hopefully they'll get a goal to help us going into that second leg. We'll sim now, and no, we did not get that. Instead, we conceded an away goal. Juventus winning the game 1-0 through Alexandro. Disappointing. It's going to require a lot to turn it round now in that away leg, but we'll wait and see what happens. We're currently 5th in the league, so we've managed to turn things around a little bit, actually, from our league form, although saying that, Leicester have got a game in hand, but we're certainly much closer to the top of the league and the top 2 than we were before, so very happy with that. So we're on a little bit of a winning streak, I believe, but hopefully that can continue. Okay, so on to the second leg of the Juventus match now. Just a quick note, we're out of the FA Cup. We went out to Swansea, we lost 1-0 in that game in the quarterfinals, so we've not met our target there. We've gone 1-0 down against Juventus. We've equalised though through Silva. That's our away goal that we needed. Now we need to go on to win this game. Let's skip it, and it's a 2-2 draw, but we obviously conceded that goal in the last leg. So we've gone out in the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup as well. Disappointing. We need to now qualify for the Champions League going into next season. We're currently in a good position, actually, 3rd. We could actually still win the league. We're only 5 points behind Arsenal. We've picked things up in the league. And we do need to win the league if we want to keep our job, which I didn't think I'd be saying. But it's certainly a very tough job, is this Man City one. Much tougher when obviously you're simming all the games. But yeah, a bit frustrated we've not managed to achieve some of our more important objectives. Obviously winning the FA Cup to only get to the quarterfinals was very disappointing. I'm hoping, though, that the Man City owners will give us another season to try and turn things around and evolve the side a little bit more. It takes time. We've seen that with Pep Guardiola in real life. He's not necessarily running away with the title or anything like that. So yeah, win the league title. We're in 3rd, not too far off there. Sadly, though, couldn't reach the final of the Champions Cup, although I do think that was a fairly high objective for my first season. So now all that's left to do is basically sim the rest of the first season and hope that we can somehow find our way to the top of the league. Like I said, we did pick up the form massively, actually, in the league over the last few months. We'll hope that that has continued going towards the end of the season. Okay, so here we are at the end of the season. I'm actually quite nervous to see how we've done. Not too sure how our results were like. We beat Liverpool, drew to Arsenal, a few wins there actually. So again, on a decent run, we actually could have won the league here. We've only, I think, dropped 2 points across those games. How did we get on? We did win the league. Wow, very, very happy with that. That has just probably, I think, kept us in the job here. I think that's just about kept us holding on. We won the league in our first season, even though we're still not on track. That should hopefully give the board a little more confidence in us, although we'll see over the next few days. And we'll hopefully go on to the second season with a bit of a better squad. We're going to also try and improve things throughout the whole squad. We obviously tried to do that defensively. It seems to have worked from what we did in the January transfer window, so very happy with that. Hopefully now the board are okay with me continuing on as manager. Only a 60 rating though as the manager, so not very good. But hopefully they have seen that we've won the league. You can't really sack a manager that's won the league, surely. Okay, so the end of season review. This is not good. We've still kept our job, I think, but if you read the email, they're not happy whatsoever. Should not come as a surprise that we're not entirely satisfied with the results this season, even though we won the league. We have failed to achieve a number of objectives and thus fallen short of what we expected to accomplish, both on and off the pitch. We are hoping for a stronger commitment and better results from you. That said, we believe you deserve another chance and would like you to stay at Man City next season. So I've clung on to the job, and we'll crack on with the second season next time round, in the next part to this two-part series, and we will be continuing on with various different clubs once we've finished with evolving Manchester City. So leave your suggestions in the comments below for what club you'd like to see me evolve next time round. Thank you all so much for watching. If we could go ahead and hit 50 likes on today's episode, I would really appreciate it, and if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. It'd be absolutely fantastic, and the next part to this will be out not tomorrow but the day after, so get ready for that. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.